before Donald Trump, the Republican Party stood for small government and less federal intervention in our lives. A declaration of national emergency by the Republican president, this one would seem to upend that notion, don't you think? Some Republicans now see that declaration as a better alternative, however, to the ongoing shutdown. Politico is reporting that support among congressional Republicans for the shutdown, however, is now eroding, with 15 to 25 moderate House members expressing a desire to vote with Democrats to open up the U.S. government again. Politico is also reporting that the president's PR strategy is so problematic that Republicans are willing to break with decades-old Republican orthodoxy to support a potential emergency declaration over the wall in order to save face. I'm joined right now by the outgoing Republican governor of Ohio, John Kasich. Governor, whether I've been on your side or not, I've known what your side was. I've known it all these years. I know it's less government, more individual freedom. That has been the Reagan doctrine going back to Lincoln. And yet, the only thing people have against Lincoln was using emergency powers to get rid of habeas corpus and start arresting people without judicial reason. And here's a president talking about expanding his power to take $4 billion away from the Defense Department and building a wall with it. What do you make of that use of presidential power in the context of Republican thinking?
I don't think that's what's going to happen here. I could be wrong. They don't send me missives from the White House to tell me what they're going to do. But I think tonight, if the president is smart, he'll figure out a way not to lock himself in. Chris, look, you and I have seen many shutdowns. I was involved in one in 95 and 96. And what it gets down to is both sides have to say there's a willingness to reach some kind of an agreement. And right now, everybody's trying to calculate what the politics is. And think about this. I've heard your previous guest talk about no emergency at the border. OK, well, there may not be unless you're a kid sleeping in one of those shelters, sleeping on the floor, with a sheet of plastic over you. The reports these kids are getting sick. I mean, moms are upset. They're down there. They see their kids getting sick. Fact of the matter is, let's get this resolved, and let's do comprehensive the comprehensive immigration reform. Let's have a guest worker program. And Chris, we've got to invest security and economic programs for our neighbors. We've got to get those countries stabilized, and we have to work with them. I mean, that's what we got to do.
I don't hear that from this administration. I don't hear comprehensive. I know. I don't hear stopping illegal hiring and having a guest worker program. I don't hear anything about people who've been here 30 years and are really Americans now and letting them become official Americans. There's no openness to that kind of a compromise from these guys.
Well, you know what? They're going to lose some Republicans, right? They're going to lose Republicans because the vote's going to be, do you want to open up part of the government? I mean, of course you're going to vote to do that. They can't sustain that. Yeah. So I think if the president was smart, he would stop putting himself in a corner. It makes no sense because at the end, there's going to be a deal. I don't know what it'll look like. I don't know that they'll ever call it a wall. Maybe they'll say we'll spend some more money. We'll let the experts decide how we can have border security. Because I got to tell you this, people want the border to be protected. But that's not good enough. We can't solve all these problems right at the border. Okay. A lot of those problems emanate in places farther away from the border.
Let's talk Turkey. This president's got Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, as tough as nails. She's one of the toughest people I've ever seen in politics. She says it's an immorality. It's an immorality to build this wall. Where's the negotiating from it? Rush Limbaugh and his pals in the world of Fox say if this president doesn't build that wall, he's finished politically. That's the situation the right and the left have put this president in. And now he's going to shoot the moon with this so-called national declaration thing.
I don't think that's going to happen, and that's no way to fix this problem. And I can remember when Bill Clinton was up at the White House saying the Republicans are taking away money for the environment and education. We're up there saying you got a phony budget, you're going to bankrupt the country. But we figured out a way, and some of them came to me in my office, and we said, okay, here's the parameters for how we can get something done. And guess what happened? We got a balanced budget. We paid down debt. The economy was growing. So all these people locking themselves in, and the president's got to get off this wall thing, and it's got to be this. You can't. It doesn't. Life doesn't work that way. Not just politics. Life.
Governor, when will the Republicans be given an alternative that takes them back to the idea of small government, individual responsibility, and individual freedom, and not big government takeovers of land and eminent domain and all that stuff? When are we going back to that?
I don't know. I could tell you this, though. If the Republican Party doesn't wake up, okay? Now, the Democrats are way out to the left right now, but if the Republicans don't wake up, they haven't had a new idea since Jack Kemp and John Kasich. And you know what?
Right.
The fact is, if you don't have ideas in politics, you can't make it, Chris. You know that.
I know.
And so
By the
they've
way,
been burying their heads in the sand.
I love New Hampshire, and you're going there. I swear you're going to be in New Hampshire next year. Anyway, just a bet. I think I'm going to see the name Kasich and New Hampshire tied up together. Just a thought.
Good. I mean, that's a prediction on your part. You thought Alabama was going to beat, Clemson last night.
I was probably
I don't know
rooting
what's
for
going to
Clemson.
happen in the future.
All I care about is the Eagles anyway.
Okay.
Ohio Governor John Kasich, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.